Zaima companion. Gentleman sent me 3 lighters to work on. This is one of them. Notice that it has a filler valve adapter missing. So I'm presuming this is probably a solid pin lighter. Well, I should have a cleaner rag around here than that one. This is new. I keep it on a polishing cloth. Take it apart while I try to figure out how to take it apart. Yeah, probably should just pop off of there, I'm guessing. Yeah. There we go. We can tell that thing's new. Look at the mechanism on that. Spring. New lighter. Let's see if it gives a date on this here. It doesn't, but you can pretty well bet that that's pretty old. Zaima solid pin lighter. I'll tell you what, this is a solid lighter too. I mean, it's got some heft to it. Yes, it does. Tool I guess big enough to fit over that. Yeah. Yeah, you can tell that thing's definitely needed rebuilding. Service. Sponge down in there is everything's plugged up. It's not surprising. Okay. Well, check that sponge out, guys. You know that? It's just plugged up. Really filthy. This is called a wick right here. Got a little bit of the cotton part of it sticking through. I'm gonna save this right here. This cotton part, it goes right on top of this. Okay. Now, yeah, this is wow. See all that? See how plugged up that sponge is? It just goes to show you guys, this is the majority of the time, this is what's going to be a problem with your lighter, okay? It's just, you know, that's why if you're storing a lighter, make sure that, you know, that you're removing the butane. But that replacement O-rings for that. Especially as brittle as they are. I'm hoping they look like about 1.5 millimeter diameter is what they look like. You want to make sure that you might say I'm repeating myself, but you know, not everybody watches all my videos. Maybe just the one that particularly pertains to them, but so I'm going to keep saying it. Make sure that you clean all of this stuff, this corrosion and residue, and clean all that off of, because that's a little hole right there. You don't want none of this stuff getting down in there, and if you're going to do something, do it right. You don't want it getting back down in your system and plugging up a hole. Well, I don't really want to. Yeah, I'm going to have to try something else here. That's not going to work. Man, these are my favorite. Don't want to bend them up either. There we go. You get a pair of these here nice, good DeMont tools here, guys. You know, these ones here are made in Switzerland, the quality ones. Probably, if you're lucky to find a used set for $50, you're doing good. I don't know how many of those that, yeah, you can see right here. That hole's completely plugged up. smaller hole. I don't know. This here wire is like 0.3 and 0.38 of a millimeter, 0.39. Some of these little orifices are just ridiculously small. I think that's too big. That's way too big. I'm gonna let this soak a little bit while I work on this. Definitely needs a new stopper. Now you see how that bottom stopper is, it's smooth and flat. So you guys out there working on that, you don't have a stopper, you could flip this over. Matter of fact, this stopper is such good material. That's what I'm gonna do on, that's what I'm gonna do on this. Flip it over. Let's don't. Let's just put a new one in. I'm guessing it's probably a 2 millimeter. Bigger than 2. Let's try 2.5, I guess. Well, look around in here. I thought I had a 2.4. Yeah, I do right there. Yeah, that's it. 2.4. I didn't cut that off enough. Got to be a little bit longer. That's twice. That's twice. Third time's a charm, I guess. Tool on the floor. Yeah, I'll get another one. I just want to get up and step on that. Tell you what I am going to do though. I am going to adjust that down. Okay, let's see what happens there. I need to cut that stopper down a little bit. Perfect. Okay. that dollar for every freaking O-ring I got in here. Might be that one too. I think I'm going to go with this will be a 5.3. I think I'm going to go with that because usually on the Zaimas it's usually right around there. Let's see here. Boy, I think that's pretty good. Let me get that back out of there and measure that again. Yeah. We'll try that. I'll try this one first. One way to find out if it works or not. Actually, I'm going to say it's going to work, but let's screw it in here and see what we got here. Yeah, that's it. That's perfect. So you want a 1.5 millimeter cord. This says 2.3 by 1.5, which means it's 5.3 OD. I got them out of China. Okay. This is a wide, whoo boy. It's a wide O-ring. But it's a 3.6, 3.5. Yeah, I'd say 3.5. I'm going to have to use 2 O-rings on this. 1.3. So I'll do a 7. I'll do a 7 by 3.5. I think I'm going to have to go another route here. Yeah, go another route. Let's try an 8. You know what? I'm gonna try a 1. This route. That's not even the right one. Hmm. Probably ought to put another one on there. Yeah, you can get the right spring tension. Just a second here. Let's see. use here. Ring tool here very much, but sure does come in handy. There we go. Now let's test and see there ain't no plug in there. Nope, that's good. Now we've got to get this going. Much luck getting this thing unplugged. Got a really small orifice. There we go. I think I got it in there. Yeah. Alright. There we go. Cool. Let's see if that. Still think there's some junk in there, which there is. That's pretty good. There we go. We're good there. We're good there. We're good there. We're good there. Okay. Now, man, 4-point-something millimeter sponge. Whew, never seen one that big. I got 3.5. I don't think I got 4. But let me see if I got anything out of the ordinary in here. That's still kind of small, but 3 points, that's about a 4 right there. We're going to have to go with that. Put the cotton layer back down in there. The sponge. Well, let me see here. We'll have to I'm going to plug this hole up because I got a hole here. Okay, so this sponge really isn't going to work without a hole in it. So I'll get a little piece of cotton here. Wet it down a little bit with some alcohol. Okay. And go ahead and okay. Come on. There we go. I want to grease up them O-rings. Yeah, let me take that out, make sure that, yeah, it's still sitting straight there. Okay. Got that done. Let's go ahead and get this here rebuilt. Let's see, gotta get this seal out of there. Get that back in there. Okay. There's that. I hate these type of valves, but it's you know, let me do something here. That's a coarse thread. This one. Well, that don't seem bad, but let's see what we got here. Might have a X-ring that'll work in there. 1.28. By about 5. That's 5.5. That's too big. We're a little bit here's the problem with that one fits over there pretty good. But this one here doesn't want to fit over there near as easy. But I think it will work. Because what happens is this flat part right here. We'll seal. Okay. So let's stick that back down in there. Never did care for these, but I don't have any. I don't have any converted valves. I do have some adapters to help them fill it, but I don't have any converter valves. All right. What I'm going to have to do here is get out my vise. That's just to hold that down, but I need something a little better. I think that'll work a little better. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see if I've got a tool. Yeah, let it go on the floor. I got it. Found my other tool, fell down too. Yeah, that's not quite what we need. There we go. Get some of the solder off of here. There we go. All right. Okay. Now that's what we want to do here. Just like that. Put that in there through the top. Now you guys probably can't see this, but I think from what I'm showing you, you get the general idea. Except I do need to put a little grease on that, because that is a little bit more than larger in diameter than what I need. It's going to make it hard to seat over that, but I'm going to do the best I can do. So get her to going. I need kind of like find a better version to rebuild these anyway, as far as these type of valves go here, because I usually modify them, but I don't have that option right now. Okay. Now, I'm going to hammer that down. Hopefully. No. See if I've got a bigger round or something a little flatter. That might fit in there. Yeah. Let's try this again. Yeah, that's the problem with these. That's why I generally rebuild them. Yeah, it's not working. Let's see what I got here. So I'm going to try something else. Instead of that, I'm going to try an O-ring. O-ring might work better. Four points. 4.7. I think we can go 4.7 by 1/2. We'll try that. Got too much of this. What's this freaking O-ring crap here? 4.7. That's a 4.4 by 1.52. That's a possibility. Lord, double check this. Yeah, I need something that kind of just fits in there. What is this? Yeah, look at there.
That's a 4.76 by 1.58. Let's give that a shot. If I can get that spread over that. Might work. This is probably going to be some good information for you guys out there that have these types of lighters and are looking for something good to replace it with. I'm going to need let's see here. I need something flat. And where'd that go? Yeah. Problem is to get some with the bigger inner diameter. It's going to kind of snug itself over that, so it needs a 2.3 ID. 2.3 ID. That'll ring. I burgered it up and throw it away. Yes. Isn't going to work. And them's pretty close, but the 5. What's this? 2.3 by 1.5. I might be able to use this one here. 2.1, the one yeah, this is a little bit smaller. I might be able to use this one. It's got a little bit bigger inner diameter. Right here, it's 2.1, but 1.5, so that's 3, so it'd be 5.1. It might be the one. What I need for rebuilding this particular type of valve. I've never really had any luck rebuilding these type of valves, but then again, I've got a better selection of O-rings now than I've ever had, so. Oh yeah. Yeah, let's see here. might be it, guys, right there. That might be it. Okay. Yes. Boy, that fit right in there. Yeah, it looks like it might be it. All right. Only one way to test it. You got to install it. You guys need any of these caps like this and these springs, I got plenty. You want to send me a self-addressed stamped envelope, and if you need one, might have to hand scan it, so it costs an extra $1 in the envelope, and I could just send you some for free. Okay, let's see what we got here. Tell you what, we're going to go with that. We're going to go with that. Now, guys, what you need for this particular type of valve here. Let me see if I got one in here. I don't. There's a little converter, but it doesn't have a pin on it. Let's see here. This is what you need right here. I'm going to send this for that guy too. You see this? Look at this. You got a valve like this? You see it? Here's what you need. You got this adapter. It's got an offset hole. Allows the pin to be pushed in by the plastic. Okay? Because butane actually goes around the pin, gets in the lighter. So once you push this down, you push it down hard, it should seat up against the rubber and fill it up. All right? So just give me a second here. I'm trying to see if I can get gas. Let me try another. Sometimes these are not all these valves are equal, let's put it that way. These adapters. Some of them are good, and some of them are garbage. You just gotta look down. We'll try this one. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. See that one? That one there might not have, it looks like this is going to be a better option for pushing down on the pan. Okay. Now it might work for another lighter, but it's not going to work for this particular lighter. That's why I kind of test these before I stick them back in. There we go. Well, push this rubber down in there a little bit. There we go. He's having trouble filling it now. I can see why. Might be this rubber on the outside here. I've really never seen one quite like that before. I think that's probably the problem. It's sticking up so much and it's not allowing it to flow around that pin. Let me put a little O-ring in there. Yeah. Let me get a little O-ring in there. Let's see. This is a 1. No, it's not going to work. We want something. We want something. Let's see here. That might do it right there. We'll try it and see. Comes out, so it needs to be a little bit. Let's see, that's 3. We need a 4. I think we need a 4 by 8. .6, 4.1. Let's try the 4.1 by let's try the 4.1 by 0.8. Good thing I have a variety of O-rings. Fall out anyway. Let's see what happens. If I can't get this to work, I'll end up having to modify it. If I got the equipment to do that, if that's the case, there we go. There we go. Yep. Now we're getting butane through it. Leaks a little bit on top, but we're getting a little bit of butane through it. So we're good there.
Now we need a new O-ring. I can't remember what this is here. Let's see here. That's a 10. And we can go down here and get the 9. And stretch it out a little bit. I need to clean this up a little bit, guys. I'm getting too much freaking garbage here. I can't keep track of everything. Okay. Right, there we go. So, now, this would be a perfect tool if it had a centerpiece. It went right down in here, so it could help me stay on the valve. Kind of like this one does for Dunhill roll gas. Has a centerpiece, little notches right here, so you don't slip off the valve. That's what I need for this. Because even with this tool, you'll still put a few scratches on the filler valve trying to get it out or install it. I really don't like doing that, especially got a new lighter, but you know, I guess it's a small price to pay. Okay. Ooh, boy, got plenty of butane in there. Now the question here. Got one little bubble. We got a little bit of a leak in there. But right now I'm not going to worry about that and deal with it. I want to check this out here to see if everything is good here.
Let's try to down a little bit more. There we go. We're good there. I'm going to have to deal with this, but for now I'm going to go ahead and just install everything back here, making sure this top part's working before make sure everything's working here. Okay. See, that's off. So I want to put it let me see this cap again. Okay. Yeah. It's going to be, I've got to unscrew that. I was figuring after I put new stopper in there. I think the best way for me to do that is I need to unscrew this. They got that kind of Loctited down. Maybe I can bend the mechanism. Let me see here. When you go put the sponge or stopper in here, I should have cut that a little longer. Because when I got this in, it's up. I think what I'm going to do is I need to put this in. So the best thing to do rather than take everything all apart, is to go ahead and bend the tab on this. Let's bend the tab on this down a little bit. Don't know how much, but we'll figure it out. Let's try that. That's a little too much. It's a little too much. Let's try that. If I can't get it this way, then we're going to have to go back in and take everything apart. Well, let's see what we got here now, guys. Yeah, I think that'll work. Well, I need to unscrew that. Man, you know that thing's, wow. You know that thing's on there tight when it's not, it's screwed on there, but it's not letting me turn it. It's just eating around that brass there. I'll show you. Just eating around it. So combat this. Make it the easy way, I guess. Say, how you gonna do that? Here's how I'm gonna do it. Except I want to let all the butane out. I'm gonna do the other end here. You have to raise this here part. The only way to really raise it is I can't get it unscrewed, you know. The only way to raise it is put a longer stopper in there. This right here. So I'll get along. Believe you me, when I get done, it'll. Excuse me. It'll work when I get down here. I'm gonna go with that. We'll give that a shot. Because I can't get that off, I got to rigmarole here and score everything up. Trying to get that screwed back down. What's going on here? Let me try my others. They're a little. Let's try that. one seal out of here too. That'll give me a little bit more lift. I'll take one seal out of here. You only need one. There we go. Let's see what we got there now. Let's give it a little test. That should be stop. Yeah, that's going to do it, I think. Only one way to do it's test her. Problem is, though, I made a mistake. Let me see here. I made a mistake. I didn't put the flame adjustment screw on there. Okay guys, I ran out of space, so I had to, my video kicked out, so I'm just kind of backtrack a little bit here. As far as the filler valve goes, I end up, what did I do with it? I end up making, or modifying it. Okay. I ended up modifying the one I had. You can take this apart and redo the inside, so we're going to go with this. I tried several times. I tried twice with the regular one, but there's just, guys, there's just no freaking way that, you know, without the exact seal on that, I don't have the proper one. It'd been just been better for me if I'd have just modified this in the beginning, but I actually didn't have a valve. I actually took this valve that I'm using here out of another lighter that was good, so I'm gonna have to charge the gentleman a little bit more for this. I mean, I know he'll appreciate it. Probably be glad I did it, but you know, kind of basically turn the lighter into a parts lighter. All right. You can tell Feels a lot easier. I think that'll do it. Yeah, that's good. All right. It's still got a little layer in there. That's why I got a bouncing. That's why we got a bouncing flame. All right. I will have to let this lighter set a little bit and let the flame equalize, but let's go back here and show you what. Okay, now if you remember right, let's see here. Let me think here for a second. If you remember right, I was trying to get this thing here up a little bit further. You know what I mean? For clearance. What I did was I just ended up taking this valve back out in here and put a taller stopper in there to bring this valve assembly up. Okay, so I recommend if you're doing this lighter is to really pay attention to the length of the stopper inside and everything. You want to match everything and make it back up. But one thing that really wasn't good on this lighter is that this here, he said this lever wasn't working good, and he was right. It wasn't working good, and what was happening was what happened was it was hanging up on this edge. You know, it was just this here part here was just wanting to hang up on this edge. So what I had to do was, you can tell, I got in there with a file. Got in there with a square file and filed it down. Really, unless I had told you about it, you know, you wouldn't even notice it, to be honest with you, because I had I want to show you what I had so you'll know. I had the perfect file right here. Square file. Okay. For doing that job. So that gave me the clearance that I needed. Anyway, plus I put a bunch of grease down there. This thing here just works slick as slick now. So when you put these on, yeah, put that cap on first, then this end down. You know, you got it. Yeah, it's another thing I forgot. You got to make sure this thing will go side to side for a little bit, so you got to make sure that it's you know, even, so to speak. Now here, when red's on, gas is on. I'll be honest with you, this is a nice little lighter. Matter of fact, I'm going to grab some of these and turn them into pipe lighters. nice lighters. Now this is kind of tight. That's kind of a minimum. Let's see here. That's minimum flame. It's about 3/4 of an inch. But you got plenty of a taller flame, all right? I would say that an inch would be good. You can see how now the flame's unstable. You just shut it off like that. Very nice lighter. All right. Anyway, filler valve mod. I've probably been on this a lot longer than I'm going to get my money out of it, as far as payment. But you know what, guys? I can't send something out. That's like some lighters I get done a little quicker than others. So the money always averages out the same, all right? The best I can do. Actually, a very nice lighter. You won't need any kind of a filler valve adapter for it now. Anyway, that's it. That's a Zaima Companion. That's it, guys.